I will be very impressed if a dart comes out of here. That is now completely broken. I've come to the realization recently that nothing seems to go the way I want it to, even if I plan things ahead of time. For instance, I obviously had some kind of video that I wanted to put out on April Fools, and it turns out I didn't have the blaster. I made it a purpose to collect every part for the blaster, knowing I had the blaster, and yet I could not find said blaster. Should own like 3 of them. Apparently don't. And then I decided, well, I got this in. This looks freaking cool. I'm gonna do a video on that, and you know what? Here's that video. Is it good? No. Is it even really worth watching? Probably not. But I'm gonna attempt to, because this was sent to me by nfstrike.com, and I've been looking forward to this kit for quite some time. In fact, I've asked for it on 3 separate occasions, and only finally did I get my hands on it. Because they only had 1 picture on their website, and it looked frickin' cool. And it wasn't from any reputable 3D printer that we know of, like F10555 or Maliang 3D or anything. No, this was, this is its own thing. In fact, I still don't know who made this. I kinda doubt it's NF Strike, because they just sell stuff. They don't necessarily make it. So where did this come from? I wish I could tell you. I'll obviously have a link down in the description where you can buy one of these, but you might want to watch this video first, because when I picked this thing up and unwrapped it from the plastic wrap, which I probably should have documented, but I was far too excited to, a thing fell on the floor. Was it to this? I don't remember, because looking around I couldn't find said thing. If you look at the actual picture, there seems to be some kind of sticker or something that goes with this. I could not find it. But what I also could point out that it definitely did not come with was an inner barrel. There is no way a dart will fly through this. Actually, you know what? I haven't tested it. We should probably test it. I'll be back in a moment. Come here, you. All right. Stock Slingfire. I will be very impressed if a dart comes out of here. That is now completely broken. You know, maybe I should have put that screw in there. Well, that was one of the cons that I was going to mention. Wow, this has not ever happened before. Now, it's entirely fixable, but I'll be with you in just a moment.
Tomorrow.
It's the next day. I did break it in 3 different places. I broke it up at the front post of the site. I broke where it has a seam line. There's actually some kind of rod that they used to put this thing together, and they glued this rod in there. The rod itself wasn't even printed at 100% infill. It was printed at like a 40. That broke. I just glued the front barrel back together. And then it also broke where this like front barrel part secures to this rear part right here. And I just glued the crap out of that. So it can still come apart because it's going to need to, because to get this thing on and off, you have to take it apart. But yeah, that makes this review a little bit easier and at the same time a little bit harder, because how do I give something like this a straight up negative review? A lot of you will say, well, that's easy, it's junk. But at the same time, there are some redeeming factors about this, because it is kind of thin and printed cheaply, which I assume was like, not the printed cheaply part, but the fact that it's printed thin was deliberate, because this thing's really lightweight. It is exceptionally handy, and it feels good to point and aim, especially going through this backs, like, kind of slats right there, then through the adjustable sight ridge here, we'll talk about it a little bit, and then through the very big front post. It feels really good to aim this thing. And I have to assume that was deliberate. It was a good design choice, and honestly, drop testing this thing accidentally, it turned out a lot better than I thought it would, because I really thought this thing was just going to shatter into a million pieces, and it shattered into 3. Still, not as bad as I thought it was, but how do I give this thing a positive review at this point? It doesn't include a barrel, and it absolutely has to have one. I couldn't find a barrel that would work for it, and it's very expensive. So it's pretty much only meant for one person at this point, and that is a experienced modder and or prop user, replicator, maker, somebody that really, really wants an old-timey rifle. And I say that because even if I did say, oh, this looks like an M1 Garand or something, somebody's going to correct me in the comments, actually based off of it, and I just don't want to deal with that. So go ahead and leave that stuff down in the comment section below. I'm sure we can all learn something. That being said, it's so cool. And somebody who is like a prop maker, somebody who does like a post-apocalyptic LARP or something like that, I don't really know of another way you're going to be able to get something like this, because honestly, it doesn't exist. And that leaves a lot of questions. Like, it's actually really cool. Like, it's simple, but it's really cool looking on this blaster. Like, they did a really good job with it, so I don't know. And obviously, at the $80 price tag they want right now, it's a very, very hard recommendation to give to anybody. But if you have to have something like this for your character in your LARP game or something like that, and if you wanted to fire a dart, I'm sure you can find some kind of barrel that will work. I'm fairly certain you can find a barrel. But it's gonna be difficult. This is not a beginner thing. You have to know a lot, and you're gonna want to sand this down and repaint it and fill in gaps and stuff like that with putty. It's gonna require that to make it shine. And can you make it shine? Well, I haven't given up on it. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to find some thin wall aluminum or something that would fit in here. I don't really need a tight fit on the dart. In fact, I want the very opposite. I don't want a tight fit on a dart. I just want a loose enough barrel that a dart can travel through it, and hopefully even with like the worker Slingfire upgrade kit that just came out, I can get a little bit of performance out of this and make it hit near elite standard, which would be great. Because it's such a cool thing. Like, even this little mechanical sight, it's just some screws, and you can tighten those to make this a little tighter or whatnot, but it actually works! Because all you do is slide this back and forth, and yeah, if you jostle it, it comes undone. I would have to tighten the screws a lot more, but it does elevate that rear thing. It does help. It really does. It's a cool little addition. But it's just way too expensive for what they want, and it doesn't even include everything you would need. So that kind of just sums up the entire review right there. I want to like this thing, and I still do like it, but I can't recommend any of you actually purchase it. I can't even really put out this video because I can't fire the darn thing. In fact, the only reason I'm putting out this video now is because I broke it on camera, and that should be funny to somebody. I really hope so. And look forward to seeing this again in the future after I've painted up ye old Slingfire here and found a barrel and upgraded everything. It should be pretty good. Let me know what you think about the 3D printed emitter for the Slingfire. I don't know what else to call it. The some kind of thing. I really wish this, like, this is supposed to be for a bayonet. It doesn't come with anything. It'd be cool if there was something in there. And if there was a barrel sticking out here, it really needs that. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I'm really curious about your comments on this one because it's cool, but it's way too expensive. And I want to know if some of you think that even though it requires a lot of work, since there's really not a whole lot else like this, if it would be worth it to you to ever pick this up if you had a lot of money and you really wanted to make this kind of thing, even though, you know, it's like an M1 Garand kind of looking thing on a Slingfire, which is kind of weird. I just shot another dart. I'm getting deja vu. I'm Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video, and of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one. Yay, I got it out. It's so pretty. Oh, this just looks cool.
You gotta